The devil's cauldron boiled beneath a July sun that showed no mercy, not even for the dying. Heat rose in shimmering sheets from the cracked red earth, curling like ghosts around the body of Luke Gravedigger. Slade, the name once made grown men step backward and children hide behind dresses. But out here, bleeding into the dust, he was just another man fighting a losing war with the desert. His breath rattled harshly, each pull scraping his chest like sandpaper. The banditos' bullets still throbbed inside him, hot as cattle brands. His horse had bolted after the ambush, leaving him with nothing but an empty canteen, a torn shirt, and a prayer he'd already forgotten how to speak. The vultures circling above seemed to know it. Their shadows skimmed over him like dark, impatient hands. He tried to lift his Colt, but the gun slipped from his fingers. Strength was leaking out of him faster than blood. The sun flickered, doubling, blurring, and then the world shifted. As if the desert itself bent, a figure walked toward him through the rising waves of heat. Bare feet touched the burning ground without flinching. Long raven hair dragged behind her like silk caught on the wind. For a moment, Luke thought death had finally come wearing a woman's shape. Then the mirage hardened into reality. Nakai? He'd heard her name spoken in saloons, in camps, in the frightened murmurs of travelers who crossed land they didn't understand. Apache witch? Desert ghost? The outcast who chose a white man and paid for it in exile? The woman who could heal with a touch or kill with the same one? Luke blinked, his vision swimming. Hell, he whispered. If you're a dream, darling, I'll take it. Her eyes, black as obsidian and twice as sharp, didn't blink. She kneeled beside him, her shadow falling over his face like cool water. Her hands hovered above his chest. She smelled of smoke, sage, and storm. You should not be alive, she murmured. Trust me, he groaned. I'm working on not being. She pressed her palm to his wound. Fire shot through him, real fire. Blistering and alive, racing along his veins. He gasped, bucking off the ground. She pushed him down with surprising force. Be still. You bleed too much, I noticed. Her mouth tightened, but she didn't answer. Her hands moved in circles over his skin, smearing dark red into patterns he didn't understand. Old symbols older than the dust around them. He felt heat, cold, and something like the desert breathing into him. The pain eased, dulled, then flared back stronger. Sweat poured off his face. Why, help me. He wheezed. Nakai didn't look at him. Because spirits warned me men with guns are coming. I decide who reaches the next life today. Luke coughed a laugh. So, what? You patch me up just to kill me yourself? She met his eyes for the first time. Something ancient lived behind her gaze. Something tired. If I wanted you dead, she said softly, you would not have spoken twice. That shut him up. Her hands kept working and slowly the bleeding stopped. Not healed, not whole, but enough that he could think again, breathe again. Enough to feel pain like a man who still had a body to lose. In the distance, faint but growing, came the sound of hooves, multiple, heavy, determined. The banditos hadn't gone far. Nakai looked toward the rise of jagged rocks at the edge of the valley. There are many. 30, maybe more. Luke forced himself onto an elbow, teeth grinding against each other. The sky swung dangerously. They want the gold? And they want me, she added. The way she said it told him everything. Men have been hunting her a long time. Out of fear, out of desire, out of greed for whatever secrets she carried. None left those hunts satisfied. Luke grabbed his Colt, though his hand trembled hard enough to rattle the cylinder. Guess we ought to disappoint them. You cannot fight, she said. Never stopped me before. You are half dead. Half still enough for one more good shot. Nakai studied him. Unreadable. Why keep fighting, Gravedigger? Why not let the desert finish its work? He chuckled dryly. Because those bastards killed my men. Good men, men who trusted me. I'm not dying before I even the score. Asterisk, her expression shifted, barely. A flicker of something like understanding. Revenge is a cold fire, she murmured. It burns the one who carries it. Asterisk, then lucky for me, he said, I'm already burned. Asterisk, she rose gracefully, moving like a shadow. Come, asterisk, darling, I can barely come to my senses. Asterisk, she knelt and slid her arm under his shoulders, lifting him without strain. He felt the strength in her real, physical, not just the whispered kind from legends. Asterisk, Luke tried not to lean on her too much. Pride, even at death's door, was a stubborn companion. Asterisk, they moved toward the shelter of a rock outcropping. The air shimmered with heat, and dust devils twisted across the valley floor. Luke's boots dragged trails behind them, marking a path any tracker could follow. Asterisk, Nakai set him down behind a boulder and crouched beside him. I will try to lead them away. Asterisk, hell you will, Luke snapped, grabbing her wrist. You're the only reason I ain't dead already. Asterisk, you cannot fight? I can. Asterisk, and what happens if they catch you? His voice cracked on the last word. He told himself it was the pain. Nakai didn't answer. Luke pulled himself upright with a groan. Give me the rifle. You cannot lift. Give me the rifle. She hesitated, then handed it over. Luke steadied the barrel across his knee. The world tilted again, but he forced his breathing slow, steady, deliberate. The noise of the banditos grew louder, shouted Spanish. Laughter, the jingle of tack. Asterisk, he spat blood. Wiped his mouth and chambered around. Asterisk, Nakai stood above him, her silhouette framed by the burning sky. One hand held a knife carved from volcanic glass, black and deadly. Her other hand touched the pouch of medicine slung across her chest, charcoal. Herbs, dust from mountains older than any map. You stay behind me, he said. She almost smiled. No, asterisk, the first riders crested the ridge shapes against the sun. Dust poured behind them like a comet tail. Luke exhaled and squeezed the trigger. The rifle cracked, echoing across the cauldron. One rider toppled, arms splayed, tumbling from the saddle. Asterisk, Nakai darted forward, quick as lightning, vanishing between rocks. Her hair whipped behind her as she ran, knife glinting. Gunfire erupted. Luke shot again. Then again. He barely felt his body. Only the rhythm: breathe, aim, kill. His bullets found targets. Some men screamed. Others didn't have time, but they were too many. A shot smashed into the rock by his head, spraying stone shards. Another grazed his leg. His vision dimmed at the edges, tunneling. Asterisk, Nakai. He shouted, though he didn't know if she could hear. Asterisk, a bandito charged him from the side. Rifle raised, Luke's gun clicked empty. The outlaw grinned, asterisk, and then jerked violently as Nakai's obsidian blade tore across his throat. Asterisk, she stood over the falling body, chest rising and falling, eyes burning like coals. We must go, she said. There's too many, Luke rasped. Asterisk, then we kill until there are not. Asterisk, she pulled him to his feet. He leaned heavily against her. Both of them stained with blood, some his, some theirs, some belonging to men who would never see another sunrise. Asterisk, together they staggered deeper into the canyons of the Cauldron, pursued by the echo of hooves and gunfire. Bound by a fate the desert itself seemed to watch with bated breath. Asterisk, he didn't know if she was his salvation or the end of him. Asterisk, but as long as he could still lift a gun, and as long as she kept choosing to walk beside him, he'd fight every last devil the West sent their way. Even angels carried knives, and in the devil's cauldron, love was just another word for survival.